Hello Ninthers, welcome all. So today we are beginning another chapter in geography. And today's matter of discussion is material of the Earth's crust, rocks. So what is rock? A rock is any naturally formed aggregate or mass of mineral matters. In other words, two or more minerals usually are mixed to form a rock. So the ingredient of rock is minerals. And what are minerals? Minerals are solid substances that are present in nature. It happens naturally and can be made of one element or more elements combined together. In other words, minerals are defined as solid, inorganic, naturally occurring substances with a definite chemical formula and general structure. The most common rock-forming minerals present are silicates, which is a combination of oxygen and silicon. There are some other important minerals are there. You know the minerals, so many types of minerals are there. Iron, calcium, sodium, okay, aluminium, etc. Now, in this regards, formation of rock, we have got another geographical term called ores. What are ores? Ore is a natural rock or sediment that contains one or more valuable minerals. Typically, they are metals, and ores are normally mined. Remember, suppose you have got iron ore, then in iron ore you may not get refined iron alone. Along with so many other materials, you will get iron. So that's why it's a rock. Ore is also a rock or it's a sediment in which the major part of one particular metal will be found. That is called ore. Rocks are of three kinds. They are sedimentary, igneous, and metamorphic. Sedimentary, igneous, on the basis of their formation, geological formation. Now, many of you get confused with igneous rock and igneous. From our experience, we have found many children, they confuse with igneous rocks or with Saint Ignatius. So it is not Saint Ignatius, but it is igneous rock. However, today we will be focusing on mainly on the sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks are formed by the deposition of sediments. So from the word sediment, sediments are small particles of the bigger rocks. So obtained by the weathering of pre-existing rocks, that means bigger rocks, big boulders, mountains. These sediments are transported by various agents such as running water, wind, frost, gravity, etc. Even sometimes glaciers also. These transported sediments form layered structures and give rise to the sedimentary deposits. And this is how the sedimentary rocks are formed. In simple language, sedimentary rocks are formed from the sediments which derive from the bigger rocks. They are carried to different places and then they get deposited in layers, and after the solidification of these layers of sediments, the formation of rock is known as sedimentary rocks. Some famous examples of sedimentary rocks are sandstone, can give in the picture, sandstone, limestone, coal, rock salt, shale, dolomite, etc. Numerous examples are there. So one thing you should keep in mind that sedimentary rocks are formed due to solidification of sediments. In this regards, we have got three important terms which are very much important for understanding the sedimentary rocks, its formation and characteristics. We'll start with these two first, the compaction and the cementation. What is compaction? It is the squeezing of sediments to form hard rocks by means of losing extra water. When the sediment comes and gets deposited, it not only gets deposited but along with water it gets deposited. So it is the squeezing of extra water due to heavy pressure. Where does this pressure come from? The pressure is coming from layer after layer. The pressure of the layer is at the top of it. This is how the compaction takes place. The example of this is called mudstones and sandstones. The other one is the cementation. It is not taking the cement and then applying it, because it all happens naturally. So this term is known as cementation. What is it? It is the loose sediments are then bound after compaction together and turned into hard rocks due to the pressure of cementing, due to the presence of cementing substances like lime, calcium compounds. Remember that we use that cement to build our constructions. There actually in the cement we have got this kind of material called lime or calcium. So in the nature itself, in the soil or rocks itself, there is lime or calcium. These called materials help them to compact or make the rock into hard rocks. Such examples are calcite, silica, or even iron. So in this process, these two processes, compaction and cementation together, help in lithification. Lithos means rock, so making of rock. The combined process of compaction and cementation by which unconsolidated rock materials, means loose rock materials, are converted into sedimentary rocks. This process is known as lithification. Now let us discuss about the different types or kinds of sedimentary rocks. So on the basis of formation, the sedimentary rocks are composed of mechanical, chemical, and organic sediments. So according to the sediments, accordingly, they are known as mechanically formed sedimentary rocks, chemically formed sedimentary rocks, and organically formed sedimentary rocks. Now discuss in detail what are the characteristics rather of the mechanically formed sedimentary rocks. The agents of gradation of this type of rocks are river, wind, glaciers. Remember, these agents, they bring the sediments from one place and they deposit to another place, and there it gets lithification. They break the bigger rocks into smaller pieces and help in weathering. The smaller fragments are carried and get deposited at new areas where they form new sedimentary rocks. These type of sediments or fragments are called clastic sediments. So sometimes mechanically formed sedimentary rocks are also called clastic sedimentary rocks. These are rocks made of older rock fragments, big boulders, big rocks. Those big rocks, due to weathering, they get broken and get either carried, transported, or eroded, and then ultimately they get deposited in the lower regions where they get solidified, and this is how the formation of sedimentary rocks are known as mechanically formed sedimentary rocks. However, the deposits of different agents are known by different terms, and these three terms are there. Now, rivers is an agent. So the deposit that is made or let down by the rivers are known as alluvial. Here, the glaciers are the agents. So if the glaciers brings the sediments and deposits, and that is how the sedimentary rocks are formed, then that kind of rocks are known as moraines. And then again, it is here the wind is the agent. So the deposit laid down by winds are known as sand dunes. Now sand dunes are also sometimes called loess. Next we discuss about the chemically formed sedimentary rocks. Now basically they are formed by the process of evaporation of water that contains mineral salt. You know, when the temperature is high, the evaporation takes place. So high temperature increases the rate of high evaporation. After evaporation, when the water is evaporated, the layer of salt or sediment is left behind, which gets consolidated, means hardened, solidified, lithified, to create chemically formed sedimentary rocks. Some chemically formed sedimentary rocks are rock salt, gypsum, nitrate, etc. And now we shall concentrate on the organically formed sedimentary rocks. Now, organically formed sedimentary rocks are formed by the organic sediments, organic. They derive from the accumulation of remains of animals and plants. The remains can be of dead plants or dead land animals, or even marine, means water animals like oysters, corals, algae, which get deposited and cemented in the shallow lakes or sea bottom. We have got very famous example of this organically formed sedimentary rocks. They are known as coal, all of us we know, chalk, limestone, etc. And here you have the example of some are just two examples of the sedimentary rocks. See the pic. What we want to concentrate here, the different layers. They are formed layer by layer. These happened in thousands of years. So year after year, layer by layer, they are formed. They are not formed in one together. So here also you can see there, if you magnify this picture, then you will find there are also plenty of layers. This is how the sedimentary rocks are formed. Now we come to the conclusory part of this our discussion. Characteristics of sedimentary rocks. So we are summarizing the most important features of characteristic of sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks are formed of sediments, that you should not forget. They are made of sediments. And how these sediments come, or where they come from? They derived from the older rocks. The rocks were already present there, or plants or even animals remains, and thus these rocks contain fossils of plants and animals. Remember, among the three rocks, sedimentary, igneous, and the metamorphic rocks, it is only in the sedimentary rocks we find the fossil fuel, coal, natural gas, petroleum, etc. Sedimentary rocks are found over the largest surface area of the globe. It is believed that almost 75% of the surface area of the globe is covered by sedimentary rocks. They are commonly found in or near the water bodies like seas, lakes, etc. Sedimentary rocks found in layers or strata. Just now we have shown you in stair or strata. They are found in some layers. This is known as strata. And from this strata, we get another name for sedimentary rocks are called stratified rocks. Strata. Originally, they might be soft, but in course of time, they get hard, solidified. Lithification takes place because of compaction. Okay, due to the pressure exerted by overlying layers. So dear children, ninthers, with this we come to the end of today's discussion, where we have actually began the discussion on overall rocks, then the kind of rocks, three types of rocks, how rocks are formed, and today we elaborately discussed on the sedimentary rocks. With this, we come to the end of today's discussion. Hope this has helped you. If you have got any query, you are always welcome to give in the comment box your queries.